Here we are. It's Friday night.
5:30 Central Time, right on time. This is when we do it. You're here. We're here. Shall we begin?
Is anyone here? No one's here yet.
Well, they got to discover it.
Oh, yeah.
I did not do a thumbnail of upcoming because that would require planning ahead.
Oh. Did you remember, or was it me coming home and saying, are we
No.
Okay.
I knew we were going to do it. I mean, I had talked about our producer had failed to organize the show.
Yes.
Our producer is an AI, which was just offline. And so it was supposed to be suggesting content that I then review, and then we choose whether we're going to talk about it on the show. And it had been asleep for a few days, and so it didn't do it.
Sleeping on the job.
I know, you'd think an artificial intelligence wouldn't need to sleep, but apparently it put itself to sleep. I don't know.
Well, a warm welcome to you all. I'm JJ. I am a life coach, and I am eating quite a bit of meat.
Okay. I'm Eric. I'm a novelist, and I eat, well, mostly carbs, but that might change a little bit to become kind of half and half. Carbs and other stuff. I don't know exactly how that's going to work out. But for reference, we used to be JJ and Eric Carnivore, and around Christmas time of last year, we reintroduced carbs to more or less degree for various reasons.
And this was after being on Carnivore for 3 years, a little more than 3 years.
Yeah, a little more than 3 years.
Yeah.
And you thrived.
Yes.
And I survived. I had benefits. I lost weight. I kept it off with no issues. At my heaviest, I was around 206. I'm 6 foot tall. I dropped to around 170, and it was just easy to maintain. So if it had been just for the weight loss, then that would have been a great win. I also had improvements in acid reflux and IBS. So I was off to a really good start.
Yes, yes.
But if you've watched us at all, you know my triglycerides never responded the way that I usually do for people with low carb.
And he tried everything. Like
I upped the
less fat,
Yep.
more fat, just beef.
Actually, more fat made it worse.
Yeah.
So that started the mind ticking on some things, and we were seeing our blood sugar starting to go up. Many on low carb don't think that's an issue. I wasn't happy with it. And I had some other symptomology that was arising that was new. And so I was like, well, maybe it's run its course. It's an elimination protocol. Maybe in me, not you necessarily. Oh, sorry to blur you. Maybe in me, it's run its course, and I need to add back a little bit to see what's happened. But being me, I didn't just add back 25 grams of carbs or 50 grams of carbs or 100 grams of carbs.
What did you do?
I tried to get to 300, and I found that was not a good plan if you don't like a blood sugar roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
But I moderated off of that, and I did a lot of experimentation. I wore CGM week after week after week just to see what was happening. I wanted to learn how my blood sugar was reacting and what my insulin was doing, and I learned a lot.
I think that's an important point for us anyway. Maybe it sounds like a justification, though. I don't know. But we were really, it was a research project. It was an experiment. We both did a lot of tracking of blood sugar. So it wasn't like we went, woohoo, bring on all the cake and cookies you can possibly think of. It was very thought out. Each thing was just very, very measured.
Yeah, we had some criticism from a couple of our videos that we were carb addicts and we were making justifications, which was interesting that people could read our minds. I didn't even know that was why we were doing it, but apparently others could see through YouTube
years
into our heads, read our thoughts, and then we're so certain they thought that they could just say that in a comment.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting education as well. But that's not what was happening. What have I been eating? Well, it's been a lot of sweet potato, white potato, some rice, some fruit, oranges and bananas. I experimented with even fruit smoothies, and that didn't work very well with my gut. And then some steak or some chicken breast, with some butter. I've been really trying to like get the fat dialed in with the carb to try to get a beautiful blood sugar response so that I don't overshoot. Because what I was getting was this reactive hypoglycemia where I'd shoot way up and then really quick I'd shoot way down and overshoot. And that felt terrible because I'd get shaky and I'd have panic attacks and I didn't like it.
But that addiction is so strong.
Yes.
You're doing it all for those panic attacks.
Yes, I love just orange juice that much. And it's tasty, but I'll say that the sweetness, while it was novel in the early days, my meals are yummy, but they're not something where I'm overindulging. And as a matter of fact, I weigh every gram of what I'm eating right now so that I can understand what's happening. So with that, I want to give a reason, like, why did I choose to go so hard on the carbs? Well, I had listened to Zane Griggs and Dr. Wiedemann, and Zane led me down to Jay Feldman and Mike Fave and the whole bioenergetic sphere, which I knew nothing about other than the name Ray Peat. I have not become a Peat person. I don't know what they call themselves, how they identify, but it was an interesting perspective that I wasn't familiar with. So that's been a bit of an education.
Do you have any, I know you didn't do deep dives, but do you have any, like a bullet point on his perspective?
I think it's hard because it's not a diet, really. I don't think he was that prescriptive. And I haven't read any of the source material.
Yeah.
I've watched a couple of video interviews, but mostly I've been watching other people who studied him deeply. And then I go, I don't know if that's a Pete thing, taking aspirin and the carrot salad. And I don't know. I don't know that I buy it. I don't know that I don't. It's not a thing where I have an opinion. But I was very intrigued by their idea around stress response and low carb. I thought that made some sense, especially in me. And I thought that really understanding what's happening in the mitochondria at a deeper level was instructive if their model is correct, which it seems to be. But as far as a lot of the other surrounding philosophy and ideas around it, I don't have any opinion. But it was not without drama making this change, because as I mentioned, I was having some panic attacks and then they just got worse. And I was like, how could this possibly be? Isn't increasing insulin supposed to be reducing the stress hormones like cortisol and epinephrine and glucagon? Isn't that the thing that's going to signal to my body I'm in a time of abundance and it can just really chill out? When instead it was just like, my body was like, I don't know what this guy is doing. We were so even. Yes, we were very low ebb, but it was even. I don't know why my body talks like that. So that was sort of the background of what I've been doing, the changes I've made. Meanwhile, you were doing amazingly on Carnivore, and yet you also added in some carbs.
I did, yeah. When I had my most recent not my most recent, I have new ones now, but when I had my blood tests in November, I'd been hardcore Dr. Boz, therapeutic ketosis, fasting, sardine fasting. And again, I'd already been on Carnivore for 3 years. So I was in it and I was feeling pretty dang good. But my blood markers were getting worse. My VLDL was going through the roof. My HDL was lowering. My triglycerides were raising. Not awful like yours. My trigs are never like yours, but they were going up. So all the things we want to be moving in the right direction were not. They were going in the wrong direction. And my reverse T3, which is a sign of stress when it's high, was also elevated. And my HSCRP was elevated, but that's kind of a thing for me anyway, but it was going up. So, so you were talking about this idea of adding carbs in, and I could also see the philosophy. So I decided to wade in a little bit after you did, and I didn't go to your extreme. I wasn't trying to get a certain amount of carbs, And I was also very careful. Yes, I learned how to make risotto. We had a cooking class that was gifted to us, and I learned how to make risotto. So I did make risotto a few times. But otherwise, I was keeping it some fruit and some white potato were really what I was doing. Because again, I still have that belief that a lot of plants aren't great in high doses. So I was trying to be very conservative with that. And what happened to me? Well, I gained probably about 10 pounds. I don't fit in any of my old clothes anymore. My face broke out horribly. And the only thing that's calmed it down is Retin-A. And my mood and my energy went down.
So I would say that that's a big list of negatives.
That is a big list of negatives.
And if I were watching, I'd go, well, why don't you just go back to what was working?
Well, and yes, you would say that. And so what I'm doing right now is I am moving back towards a mostly meat diet with some fruit added in daily. And by some, I mean, it's about 150 grams of fruit. So I'm still staying pretty, my carbs are under 50 every day because I also sometimes have some milk. So with cocoa in it and yeah.
Under 50.
Under 50 grams of carbs per
and
day. I'm feeling better. I
and
mean,
getting into ketosis again.
I am, yes. So what
At
is
50 carbs?
Yeah. So by the night, I just shifted this diet about not even a week ago. Not even a week. So I'm in week 1 after my labs were done. And so what I've seen the last 2 days is that by bedtime, my ketones are at 0.6. And then in the morning, they're about 0.3, 0.4.
So just on the edge of almost nutritional ketosis.
Correct.
But not quite.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are feeling better.
I am feeling better. I don't have the energy I did yet, but I'm giving it some time. I am keeping the little bit of fruit in because we did do some blood tests and things, while they're still out of range, they are, it's only been 2 months. They are trending back to a better space. So I'm going to see what low carb feels like for a little bit and see what happens. And I am hoping to feel better as time goes on. If not, I may pulse in a 24-hour fast once a week. But again, I don't want to go too hard on that because I am a little scared of the thyroid issue. I have a very long history of hormonal issues, some of which left me on my back for most of my 30s. I mean, I was functioning, but barely.
But see, you had improvement in thyroid function on carnivore.
I did.
Until you didn't.
Until I didn't. Yeah. So yeah, actually I'm also on, my doctor bumped my Armour thyroid back up to where it was pre-carnivore. And that was before I added carbs in. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was good until it wasn't. So yeah, I'm trying to find the sweet spot and be in a place where I can feel good, but also hopefully be feeding all systems what they need. That's the hope. It continues to be an experiment.
Well, the title of this live stream is Carnivore No More, 2 months. And I said in the description, one of us was starting to reduce carbs, but actually that's not true. I made the decision today that I was going to back off my carb target to see how that felt. So I had been trying to get to around 250 grams of carbs a day. And I'm going to drop that to 150 and run with that for a little while and just see if it makes any difference. And then if that seems like it improves it and I feel great and things are off to the races, that's where I'll stay. If it improves it a little bit, but I still don't feel like things are great, then after a while I'll drop it again and see if that works. Just to see, I think maybe I just going from straight carnivore with a little bit, I mean, I had been adding a little bit of avocado, but I mean, there's hardly any carbs in avocado. So I just maybe just put the pedal to the metal and my body just couldn't handle it. So
Yeah.
the very surprising thing to me was how stressful it was to the system to go that hard on carbs when my expectation was that it was going to reduce stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
So when it didn't, I was like, I must be carbing wrong. And so it just really was puzzling because it was just not what I was expecting. So yeah, I'm going to go down to 150. I've sort of got that planned out. That'll start tomorrow. And next Friday, I'll hopefully have a new update that sounds better. But the reason that I kind of want this 150, 100, 150 is because in the absent that, the liver will have to make up the difference. And either it makes up the difference in energy with ketones, which when I was long-term carnivore, it did not want to do. It wanted to go into gluconeogenesis and crank out glucose. I could get it to crank out ketones with higher fat, but like I felt terrible. So that wasn't an answer. It wasn't even really a doable from an eating habit standpoint. I couldn't stand it. So if the liver's going to do it, I might as well just consume it and let the liver off the hook so it doesn't have to. That's sort of my philosophy. And I'm not really that interested in ketosis. I don't really care about that. I just want my mitochondria to not be confused. So we'll see if,
I guess
to me, it's going to be more confused with more fat and less carbs, but that many carbs. But what do I know? I've been wrong every single time I've made any change ever in anything.
I was going to say, I guess my mitochondria are confused because I'm doing a little, I don't know what they do at 50, but I know people live there at 50 grams.
Your brain loved ketosis.
Yeah.
Mine never did love it.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know. I just might have a bad brain.
I do want to say this though, because you were bringing up the gluconeogenesis. So one of the things we've had the CGMs on, keeping pretty close eye on my blood sugar. And so I've been pretty happy with it over the last week. And then previous to that, I was doing a bunch of experiments and figuring out when and how many carbs to have. But my fasting insulin last week when I had my blood test with the introduction of carbs was lower than it's ever been.
Really?
It was at 2.6. And before, the lowest I've had, I think, was a 4.
And your fasting blood sugar
5?
was good, right?
And yeah, my fasting blood sugar was, I think, 86.
Which is better than it's been when you were a carnivore.
When I was carnivore, yeah, definitely better. So I'm kind of, trying to hit that sweet spot, like I said, where I'd like to see my blood sugar in the 80s most of the time, but feel good, but and not have crazy insulin. Obviously, I don't want to set myself up for bad metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also like to lose some of this weight. Now, if I really want to, I know what to do, but I'm not quite there yet because I don't want to stress my body that much. So yeah. So we'll see.
My sleep's been poor.
You've had kind of a rough week.
It's been a rough month.
Yeah.
And I thought it was because I hadn't dialed it in. I hadn't dialed in the macros or I hadn't adapted to it. So obviously I can always back down into low carb. I don't think I'll ever go carnivore because I was having other problems from that. So there's some level of carb that I'll find that's going to work. That's what I'm believing right now. And once I do, I will tell you.
That reminds me, last week, Keisha asked if we thought her someone going off carnivore 2 weeks a year would help, right? If that would take care of any of the bad side effects from carnivore. And I sort of just said, well, that's the question, isn't it? But I really I've thought about it since then, and that is the question because it is so individual, but it's about monitoring your own symptoms and your own measurements if you choose to go that direction. I think the body tells us what is, well, I say that. I think the body tells us what is working. So like you said, I do really well on ketosis, but I've had a hormonal breakdown in the past, and I don't want to inadvertently step into that again.
Me neither.
So, yeah. So that's that. But in addition to sort of working on this less than 50 carbs per day, I have changed my diet in another way this week. So so I mentioned that my HSCRP is always kind of not great. It's not awful, but it's not good. And so I did get it tested again, wondering, because it had gone up. It was like a 3.6 in November, and it had gone up from, it just keeps going up. And then last week's blood test, it was at a 3.9. So it went up again. And again, I don't know if it's negligible. I really don't know that. But I worked with my physician's assistant called AI, and my AI thought that perhaps the uptick in CRP at the end of last year and into this year was due to my yogurt consumption. So last May, I looked it up. It was like May 26th. We started eating the SIBO yogurt, which is not a yogurt, but it is a fermented dairy. And there are three certain strains that you use. And then I added a fourth strain that seemed like it would be good for me. And I guess you're the one who was in that Dr. William Davis, Wheat Belly, Super Gut. Is that the other one? What is that?
That's his book.
Yeah.
I don't know what the community's called something.
Right. You're in his community.
Yeah.
And so I was very regimented with that when we started. I can't remember what the exact directions were, but I was eating it first thing in the morning before my other food, letting it sit so that my gut could populate every single day, doing the exact dose that you're supposed to do. Eric would laugh at me because I was measuring all the time, right? And are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on. Just keep going.
All right. So so I was doing that, and I did it for a few months, and then I cut back my dosage to half, but I was still having it every day. Plus, we added in his supplements, the Gut to Glow L-Reuteri supplements as well. So I was having those daily. And AI wondered if maybe I had sort of hyperpopulated my gut and actually caused an immune reaction because of that. Because apparently you're supposed to go down to like only having it twice a week or something. I was not doing that.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Vaguely familiar. Yeah, I was having it every day along with the supplements. So I am in a 30-day washout period to just see if my inflammation goes down and if it was possibly related to that. That it seems a little far-fetched to me, but I don't know. I'm willing to try not eating the yogurt for a month. It's not a real hard thing to do.
And I plan to start it back up because I've almost finished my H. pylori protocol.
Yes.
Which I wasn't eating the SIBO yogurt because it was just going to kill it. So I hope that the SIBO yogurt you made last doesn't go bad. But I mean, yogurt's already gone bad. So
yeah.
It's in the refrigerator. I don't think it'll get worse. It probably has more good bugs in it.
I've noticed that because I've been eating it for a long time now, it takes quite a while for it to go off. Like quite a while. So it should be good. If it smells off, though, it's off.
Oh, I won't eat it.
Yeah.
But I was never formally diagnosed. I didn't do any of the breath things. I did nothing around the H. pylori. It was completely speculative based upon secondhand information from her watching a thing. And I'm like, oh, I'll try something. And then I found Dr. Davis's community. There was a post that he had made about a non-antibiotic protocol, which we talked about last time, which involves oregano oil,
Mastic gum.
mastic gum capsules, NAC, and Pepto-Bismol tablets for the bismuth. And I've got 2 more days, but I think the symptoms that I was concerned about that led me to think, well, maybe it's H. pylori, plus your assessment that my chemically breath is improved.
Oh, we're going to go there.
Well, I mean, it was
Yeah.
a data point.
It was a huge data point. Okay, so since you brought it up,
I thought we brought it up last time.
I don't think we brought it up last time,
Oh.
but now we have. So pre-carnivore, it was sporadic, but sometimes Eric's breath would smell sort of chemically, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. So it wasn't ketosis. It wasn't that, right? It was pre-carnivore. He goes on carnivore. Oh, and I wondered, is it like a coffee breath thing? Like, what is it? And it went away on carnivore. Gone. A few weeks after introducing carbs, it was back. And it was back with a vengeance. A vengeance. So, and again, I was trying to put my finger on what does it smell like? And so eventually I told you about it. I'd seen that Michaela Peterson video that we showed last week, and she brought up some symptoms that he has plus that. And I was like, wait a minute. And so that's when I brought it up.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, you got this thing. Something is not right. And believe me, his hygiene's impeccable. He's never had like halitosis issues before. It's like not that. It's a real distinct chemical smell. And it turns out you said people liken it to ammonia.
Well, I had coincidentally noticed a little bit of ammonia occasionally, which I would experience after a workout sometimes. So, I mean, it's just very faint. So it could have been what you were sensing in part. So I started the protocol, and within a couple of days, you said that was gone.
Yeah, or greatly reduced.
I had extreme tight achiness in the solar plexus that came on when I started having those fruit smoothies. And I thought, oh, I'm sensitive to whatever's in it. So I stopped them. But then it kept continuing. But now I'm this far into it, that has way reduced. So fingers crossed that protocol is working, because I'd prefer that I do that rather than blast it with 3 or 4 antibiotics.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm going to be restarting the SIBO yogurt, because I almost certainly probably have some, with my historic gut issues. If Dr. Davis is to be believed, every possible malady known to man is caused by bacterial overgrowth. So give it a shot. Let's see, where are we at? Another thing that I was doing for diaphragm tightness and all kinds of other things was I discovered block therapy on YouTube. It's a channel, and it's
Quite a while ago.
Deanna and Quinn, and there are these wooden blocks, and you basically put body pressure on them against the floor and find where it hurts. And then you do this diaphragmatic breathing, and then you try to let those adhesions melt. Now, do these adhesions exist? I don't know. That's the theory. Does it hurt? Oh, yeah. Has it helped? I think maybe somewhat it has. It's been a bit of a learning process, but I had started using it occasionally with my feet, and it was so excruciating because naturally I didn't do the progression up to
No.
where you stand on it and then you stand on the foot that's on the block with your other foot. No, I went straight there. And because the pain is an indicator that you're on the right spot, I'm like, well, I found it for sure. So I just got to stand here like this for 3 minutes, completely forgetting that I'm not supposed to be going. You're supposed to be calm-faced, even smiling, deep breaths, long exhalations. I didn't do all that initially because I had forgot that part. So I've been doing block therapy. I do have to occasionally take a day off because it does make certain areas tender. But it's been quite interesting because, you put a lot of pressure like into the sternum or into the ribs. And it's like, you shouldn't do that. That seems like you'll injure yourself. But actually, it does seem to kind of help loosen things up if you don't overdo it.
I was coming down with a headache, or I have actually this past week, I've been a little under the weather here and there. I've had a little bit of headachy, body achy type stuff, and some fatigue. And so I decided to check out the block therapy videos. I've never looked at them before in my life, but I was like, what do they say about headache? And so I found a video, and so I was using it, and you do, for the headache was here. So I had to go across the body with the block in the back and on the side. And I did one side and I was like, oh, I got to do the other side. So then I did the other side and I was like, oh, I need to do another spot. But I knew that if I kept going, I was just going to be lying on the block all night. So I didn't do that last spot. But yeah, I was surprised how good it felt. I hadn't really, it's been laying around forever, but
Yep.
I hadn't really ever done it. And it really did feel nice.
So the block is a wooden block that they've finished nicely and they've sanded down the corners and stuff, but you can use a yoga block or a towel. They actually recommend a rolled up towel when you're just getting into it, which means I'm not doing that. I'm going straight to the hardest piece of diamond I can find. I put my whole entire weight on. But it's been interesting because there's certain spots where it's like you put the pressure on it as, and you kind of ease into it and you try to melt. And then you find that one spot and it often will melt. And then when you stand up, it's like, wow, I can really move my arms around. I haven't been able to do that in a long time. Well, I mean, I can move them, but not with that range of motion. So block therapy, you can search it on YouTube. If you've got some lingering pain or issue, I'm sure they've got a video about that specifically. You watch there and you can use some tool you've already got in the house. You don't need to buy their block unless you really get dedicated to it like I did. So that's block therapy. And so I had gotten back into it in part because of the tightness in the diaphragm, but I had gotten into trying to do yoga because I needed to do some activity, but I was anytime I did exercise, I was getting these adrenaline attacks. So I immediately tweaked my back in yoga. I don't know how I did it. I didn't feel it in the moment. It was only later after sitting around that I couldn't stand upright.
No, I was concerned though, because, well, I am concerned about the back tweak too, but when you said you said you were going to do yoga, your reasoning was spot on, right? He didn't want to have those pauses. I think you mentioned it last week.
Yep.
Those pauses where you were able to observe your body and have adrenaline and panic attacks. So you were going to do flow yoga. And you're like, yeah. And I found the perfect program. It wasn't too long. And, we would move on just when my muscles were starting to shake. And I was like, muscle shaking? I don't know if that's, this is in my head. That might be a little too far for day one. But yeah, then you ended up with a
So my back started to heal. And then I was doing all this block therapy. And then yesterday I was out in the barn and I twisted to plug in something. I wasn't even bent over. My back just went doing. And I knew that feeling because I've felt that feeling so many times. And I'm like, this is going to take some time for this one to heal. And sure enough, I was walking sideways and bent over. But I said, I'm going to go to the block therapy and make it worse. And that's exactly what I did.
Oh, I didn't know that piece.
Oh, yeah. Because
I'm not surprised.
I didn't go find a video. I'd watched 3 or 4 videos. I was an expert. So I'm like, well, if it's good to jam it on your ribs, certainly the spot that hurt. The spot I just hurt.
An injury. Go ahead.
Well, I know. I learned the trick how to breathe into it. was like, sure, this will loosen it
You
right
break
up.
your bone, just shove it in there. And make sure to put all your weight on it.
So, I mean, I wasn't going to just do it if it was like, where my body reflexively recoiled from the pain. That would be a no-go. But if I could will it to stay there, then it must be okay. And mistake. So this morning I get out of bed. I'm like, oh, that was the best idea I had. So, but I was bent to the right, and I remembered years ago seeing Bob and Brad, and they had taught me one move that had made all the difference. So I remembered it. And I was like, oh, I should have done that from the start. So I did that, and it helped me be able to stand upright and be mobile enough to do some things today. So I feel very encouraged. And then I was like, well, I'm going to take the day off of black therapy. But then I remembered
Oh, yeah?
that years ago I had bought this device called the Right, which is this torture device for your psoas muscles that pokes in through your abdomen, through your intestines to get to the psoas muscle and do some like trigger point therapy on it. And I was like, oh, I was feeling the tightness in there. And so I'm like, that's got to be the psoas. I know what I need to do. Since it hurts, I should jam something into it. Now, that's not how I phrased it in my mind. In the moment, it was like, oh, yeah, I need to get in there and help release it, right? And so I've got the device. So I was like, let me review what you do. Okay, this is simple. You find the spot, you lay on this horn that then jams up in there. But then I was like, oh, I remember why I don't use this. It's because it grosses me out because it's got to jam into your abdomen. And well, between your skin and your psoas muscle is muscle and a lot of intestines. And once I start thinking about it poking into the intestines, I start to get the heebie-jeebies. And the heebie-jeebies don't leave me easily. I'll say that 3 times fast. The heebie-jeebies don't leave me easily. And so I was like, I don't know if this is even safe. I might poke a hole in my intestine. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I researched it. And the answer was, no, they're kind of slippery in there. And so if you are slow and melt into it easily and slowly, it will find its way there, and then you can get pressure on that muscle, which is what I did. And yeah, it hurt in a kind of a good way, but I didn't prolong it because I'd learned my lesson that more is not always better in certain cases. When you're dealing with an injury, more pain is just more pain.
So the Bob and Brad exercise you do, does that cause you more pain when you do it?
When I do it, it can, but I learned. So the exercise, I'm not going to demonstrate it, but if you're bent to one side from a back tweak, you lean against a wall and you sort of just move your hips and kind of bounce against that resistance, and it slowly loosens the system up, and then you can stand up, and it actually kind of helps the spasm release a little bit. Now, if you just go crazy with it, like I want to do, because I'm like, well, if a little bit is good, more is the best. Then you can get to the zoink point where it just is like, no, you just overdid it. So flirting with the zoink point is the story of my life.
Yes, it is.
So should we check in with the chat?
We should, yes.
Deborah is here from Vancouver.
Hey, Deborah.
Vancouver, Washington, and made some L. reuteri for the first time. It was delicious. This was a revelation to me because I'd had Greek yogurt in the past and other yogurts, and I didn't like yogurt. But because of the supposed health benefits of getting reuteri and these other ones in there, I was like, I'm old enough now. I don't care what it tastes like. It's going in. And then I was like, yeah, it's a little tangy, but it's not bad. And then I found a little hack. It's just the tiniest drizzle of maple syrup really cuts that tanginess and it makes it easy to go down. But obviously, if you're carnivore, that's pretty iffy because that comes out of a tree, which is a plant.
I do like it. Just plain.
Just plain?
Yeah.
I've had plenty of it plain, so it's not really a problem. The Gasseri, L. Gasseri, and the subtilis, which is something else. I think it's B. B subtilis.
Yeah.
Those are the combination that makes the complete SIBO yogurt, but many just do the reuteri for the benefits. And it's supposedly supposed to, ups the oxytocin.
Yes.
Which I am apparently completely immune to.
There is no oxytocin to be had. No, I had a bad night's sleep a couple nights ago. And again, the research was like, well, maybe it was because I wasn't having the yogurt actually to calm me enough. I didn't really buy that one, but that was a thought. That was a theory as well.
Maybe we didn't have enough of it. Let's see.
Well, I'm not having any of it right now. But.
Shelby, hi from Tennessee. I've been on Armour thyroid for years and is not able to reduce it on carnivore along with iodine. I'm eating under 50 carbs a day now for a while to see what next labs.
Good luck with that. Yeah. We're in this together. And yeah, I've been doing iodine as well. Someone asked me that in a comment. And yeah, I've been doing iodine for quite a while and still do.
I don't take iodine.
No.
I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should take really any of the supplements that I'm taking, honestly.
Well, yeah.
Every time I think I've got it figured out, I realize I don't really know what I'm doing. Which is why we don't make recommendations.
No.
Good afternoon from Saskatoon. That was a poem, and you let us know where you were from. I love it. Commiserations that your hockey team lost to the U.S. ladies team yesterday. I didn't watch any of it. But I had my parents took me to Saskatchewan when I was a kid. I don't remember why we went. And we went fishing on some lake, and they were the largest northern pike I'd ever seen.
Really?
Practically flipping themselves into our boat.
Really?
Yeah.
My mom, when I was growing up, we lived just down the street from a river, and my mom went and fished there one time, and she caught a northern pike.
In a river?
In a river. And I'm just saying, I don't know.
This is the story.
No, I mean, it had the face.
Oh, it had the northern pike face.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why it couldn't be in a river.
Yeah. So, and she was kind of scared of it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I was there. I think my brother was probably there too. He was younger than I was. So what she did was she didn't kill it. She couldn't kill it. She wrapped it up in one of our coats, our jackets, and we carried it home and put it in the bathtub until her fiance got home to kill it.
Dispatch it.
Yeah. I don't think we saved the jacket. I don't recall, but yeah, I do very well recall carrying the northern pike back to our house and putting it in the bathtub.
I don't fish anymore. We live on a lake, and apparently there's some big bass out in it. I've never been out there to fish. Maybe I'll tell that story someday, why I quit fishing. A lot of you are talking about the reuteri. Have you noticed benefits aside from it tasting good? Let us know.
For me, I do know that, again, I don't know. I don't have gut issues. Like, I don't notice issues with my gut. But my nails grew well on the SIBO yogurt blend. And I found out I needed all of it. If the gasteri was missing, because it was for a little while, my nails broke off. And wouldn't you know, my nails started breaking off today after being off it just a little while. So I don't know. But that's one thing I noticed. And my assumption then is, if it's good for my nails, it's got to be good for other cells in my body. I don't know. Is it good for the gut lining? Maybe. I don't know.
You'd think it would be.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Shelby, love the L rotary. Deborah's, I'm with you, JJ. Still not eating sugar or ultra processed foods. Yeah,
No.
when I added carbs, it was like, it's whole foods.
Yeah.
I'm not messing around with the toxic non-food items. Jennifer Hackett is laughing. Oh, is that about the fishing in Saskatchewan? Yes, you can catch northerns and walleyes in rivers, at least where I grew up. Hello, Melanie. It's good to see
Melanie.
you. Yeah, we're a little south for northern, but I'm no expert. Wisconsin in the northern areas is known for muskellunge, which look like northern pike, but just meaner, I guess. I don't know if they're good eating or not.
Did you ever fish in Lake Michigan?
No.
No, I hadn't thought I'd heard you say that.
No, I've only been on a boat on Lake Michigan once. And, well, we might have gone on a ferry once when I was a little kid. But once that I remember, and I've lived within 15 miles of Lake Michigan most of my life. We're a bit farther away from it now. I rarely ever went there to see it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a destination to go to the shore and look at the ocean. The lake. It looks like an ocean. You can't see the other side.
Yeah, it does in that way. But yeah, my family, my father's side of the family comes from Racine, Wisconsin. We're Danish and German. And that's right on the lake. So that was a big part of my growing up. They didn't live on the lake, but we went to Salmonorama every year, for instance, which is the big fishing festival that was on the lake. And we would also, my dad would do all-nighters. He'd pull all-nighters, and we would go to breakfast at like 2 or 3 a.m., and then we would drive to watch the sunrise. So that was a nice little memory.
That is a nice memory.
Yeah. So they have a little zoo in Racine, and or they did. I think they still do. I don't know. So yeah, after he died, I had bought one of those bricks at that zoo because that zoo's right on the lake. So it talked about something about watching the sunrise. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Shelby says, I'm with you about the nails. I drink the Vital Protein Collagen daily and at 68 have the best nails ever.
I did not, when I have tried collagen, I have not noticed a difference, but maybe since I'm off the Reuter eye and the other stuff, maybe it's time to give it a go.
Oh, back to the block therapy.
Oh, yeah?
I've been having this little headache right here on the scalp, right at the top of my head, especially when I do any sort of exertion or something. But it's tied to a longer term neck headache that I had for a couple of weeks when I started eating all the carbs. It's like, dude, you're so stupid. Just don't do that. But I was sure that it was a phase. So I decided, I know what I'll do. I will lay on those blocks on my skull and my scalp and see if I can find any spot that hurts. Well, interesting note. When you have very little fat and there's just skin against bone, you can find a spot that hurts really easily. So I found it. I'm like, this is the spot. So I really ground into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's referring pain right up to the spot. This has got to be it. This is the answer. And sure enough, it hurts even right now.
Without exertion.
Exertion.
Did you do that today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm solving this problem. Like, well, I solved the causal chain, but I actually made the problem worse, which is how I do things.
Well, maybe tomorrow it'll loosen.
This is why I am not and never will be a life coach or health coach, is because my answers are going to be probably a misdirection.
Well, some of us have to fail forward.
Yeah, I'm like the cautionary tale. So
yes.
we can go off topic a little bit.
Has there been a topic?
Well, we talked about diet
Oh,
and we talked a
Yes.
lot about that.
Yes.
And block therapy is
Health.
kind of, all of these are things are tied or associated together. But we have just spent the past 2 weeks watching the Olympics on and off each night to kind of, we follow the ice skating mostly because the other sports I'm not an expert in. And I'm an expert in ice skating by virtue of having watched it on the Olympics every 4 years.
Every 4 years. Yeah. It's amazing.
Not even when it's other championships are on do I know that it's on, but I don't need it to be an expert.
Back in the days, before all the streaming, we would watch occasional.
If we happen to be on, we'd watch it.
We would watch it.
So last night, the ladies free,
Yeah,
whatever it was
free
called,
skate.
we watched the replay because it's always on at a weird time otherwise. And finally, a bunch of skaters did the move that I've been talking about the past 2 weeks, known as the whoop-de-doo.
Yes.
And that is where they jump and spin with one arm over their head.
Not two,
Just one.
just one.
And finally, they started doing it. I was like, whoop-de-doo. So there it was. It is not the technical term. It is my term for it. But some amazing skating,
Ooh.
as far as I could tell. I mean, I skated a couple of times when I was a kid. I did not know then that you're not supposed to be right on the knife edge of the blade of the skate because nobody was there to teach me. And so, and where I learned was this area where I grew up on what had been a farm but was no longer a farm.
Oh.
And it had been kind of reduced down to like 5 acres, but there was a barn, there was a couple barns, the old farmhouse.
house.
And there was this low spot we called the swamp. And that's where water collected, stagnant, nasty water collected. And then in the winter it would freeze. And so I got ice skates for Christmas and I went down there and there was like maybe by a 20 by 20 foot area where you could kind of try to skate. And so that's where I learned to skate on my own. I did not know about the edge that you're supposed to be carving. And I think I later skated with our friend who had a pond. Still didn't know at the time that that was how you're supposed to do it. And I did not know that until last night. And I'm an expert.
And now you know. Your expertise just up-leveled.
Way up level.
Yeah.
And I also did not know that for figure skating, they like slightly softer, more melty ice, which makes sense because you can dig it. But the performances were great, and I enjoyed it. And whoever the young woman was who won with the weird hairdo, Alyssa Liu. I'm not good with the names. I kind of lost track of the skating name somewhere around Michelle Kwan. So that's
about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I found really interesting was that Alyssa, and now here I don't know this. I don't think it was Ami. Maybe it was Ami. The Japanese woman who got, or teen, I think she's a teenager, who got third place. Both of them skated with so much joy.
Oh, the smiling and you could see that.
I think it's really awesome that 2 out of the 3 were skating with that joy. And even if I look at the men's, which was a crazy upset, right? The skater from Kazakhstan, I think, won.
Is that right? Yeah.
I think that was who it was. But after he skated, I was like, oh, wow, he looks like he's skating just for himself. And so he had sort of an ease and sort of a joy about him as well that I had noticed. Never thinking he was going to win the gold at all. No one thought he was going to win the gold. And he did. So since I, do like dance and theater and stuff, it was just really neat to see those medalists who had that sort of joy and that ease melting out of them, making it, again, more artistry to me. You talked about, there are some great skaters out there. but they're tense. And when they're going to jump, they're like,
Yeah, you can see their faces. They're like, I better do this.
and I don't blame them. I mean,
No,
I know
it's-
these are hugely high stakes, high pressure. I can't fathom it, but it is such a delight to see the ones who are able to go out there and just skate.
The athleticism is astonishing because I don't think I appreciated how hard those programs are. And that's why they're just, they fall over on the ice and they're gasping for breath because they've used it all.
Yeah.
And, but there was right before one of the, I don't remember which one it was. I'm bad at gauging their ages because with their hair pulled back and in their outfits, they all look kind of like they're 14 to me. But this young woman or girl, she was breathing so hard before she started it, but she was doing good belly breathing because you could see her abdomen was going in and out. She was super nervous. But the amount of energy they expend is just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I had I took a dance workshop in Chicago many, many years ago. It was when I owned my dance studio though. So I was an adult and I took a tap class, which I am not good in tap, but I took a tap workshop and it was the best advice I probably had ever heard in one of those workshops. Was the teacher said, her name was Sarah, I don't remember her last name. She said, you have to make the hard stuff look easy and the easy stuff look hard. So if you think about a tap dancer, if they just stomp their foot and dig in, they're like, ha! Right? They make it look, but then the easy stuff, they're all da, 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 going, feet tapping 1,000,000 times per minute. So that's what I was thinking of when you were talking about. Yeah, they have to make it look, part of it is to try to make it look easy, I think.
There's something to that in guitar playing.
Yeah.
Electric
Oh, yes.
guitar.
Yes.
You'll see a guy, playing a solo and, and then all of a sudden he'll like make the face and it'll only play
guitar
like
face.
one note. And it's like, oh, this is the hardest note I've ever played. And being a lifelong guitar player, I know exactly what that impulse is.
Yeah.
So amazing inspiration. I was like, man, I want to be active and healthy, and I don't need to do that level. I don't need to ice skate. I'd definitely
Quite a comeback.
I'd have a lot of block therapy out of me. They fall down a lot. But yeah, I'm like, I want my blood to be moving. I want my body to be moving. So everything that I'm doing, experimenting with my diet, is all for the sake of being healthier.
Yeah.
And that's what this channel was always about when we were carnivores, because we'd found something that made us feel better, much better for you than for me. But I'm still think that there's a sweet spot for me. Mm-hmm. And I want to find it so that I can get back into my more vigorous lifestyle.
Yeah. That would be nice. Well, and spring is around the corner here. We're in sweaters today, though. Oh,
We've had some amazing weather here, but yeah, it cooled down a little bit today.
yeah.
It's only 32.
That wind was smacking me in the face, though. It was a cold wind. But we are from Wisconsin, so 32 is not actually that bad.
No, in February, it's a gift.
Great.
But honestly, every day is a gift.
Yes.
Although they don't always feel like it when it's super cold or when your back is not bendy.
It's not good.
Got to do that reframe. It's like when you're doing the block therapy and you find that spot that's tender. It's like, oh, this is a great opportunity to release some adhesions and get some blood flow and oxygen into those tissues to enliven and rejuvenate it. So I guess I'll keep trying to do that.
Don't rejuvenate too much, though. That's don't enliven them too much.
Rejuvenate harder. So thank you guys for joining us today. Mm-hmm. We'll be back next Friday at 5:30 Central Time for more of this amazing, insightful content about really what I'm doing wrong.
So with that, every day stronger?
Every day, more blessed.